Fresh out the box.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Fresh Out the Podcast, the ultimate podcast featuring two white guys. I'm the board game guru and game master extraordinaire, Jahananan.
And I'm the professional media and movie mastermind, the Funhouse Drew Munhausen. Welcome to episode 148 of Fresh Out the Podcast. Sorry that we missed you all last week. That's my fault. I was a little bit under the weather. We had every intention of doing an episode last week, but I couldn't do it. And so Thank you, Jahan, for your grace and kindness during that period. And now we're here. We're
It's
back.
okay.
We're
I
this
didn't
week.
want to do it last week either. Full transparency.
Well, there you go. So everything always works
It
out.
worked out, man.
But what it does mean is that we just have a ton of stuff to get into this week, and I want to do a quick little bit of catching up to start. First thing, we were hoping that by now we would each get we'd have a Switch 2 pre-order, but that didn't
Yep.
happen.
Nope.
Our whole last episode was devoted to covering, recapping the Switch 2 Nintendo Direct that they had, and we had been told we were going to be able to pre-order starting uh, April 9th. I went on to the Nintendo website per your recommendation and did my little request, said I was interested in pre-ordering and met their requirements and said to send me a note. And that's about as far as we've gotten, Jahan. That's it. What are your thoughts on this?
Man, like, it's hard to complain about something like this because the whole world got thrown into just the shit stack by this whole situation. But yeah, I'm pretty annoyed that I can't get my Switch.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is that we are a mere 7 weeks away, 7 weeks and a day away from the Switch 2 launch, which is still set. That is still the date of the launch. They've only delayed the pre-ordering. Um, I
think
mean, what do you think's going to happen with this? Do you think they're going to have the supply to meet the demand?
I think that they were going to. I don't think they will anymore. I think what they're trying to do is figure out their logistical situation and get a firm count on what they can do so that they can set up pre-orders. I think that's what they're doing. And I think it's going to suck.
I got a Switch 1. I pre-ordered that without much issue that I remember. I remember them having a direct or a lot, whatever announcement. And I remember just immediately going to, I think I pre-ordered from Best Buy that time. Didn't have an issue.
Yeah.
Got it on launch day, delivered to my front door, and that was that. Never thought twice about it. But I remember as recent as 2019 or 2020. Now I know 2020 was the COVID year. That was the Animal Crossing year. People were stuck at home, but I think Switches were hard to find at that point. Like people were hoarding them at the holiday season.
Yeah.
And that was after it was a 3+ year old console. And now we have its successor coming out. I don't like that now when new consoles are released, like such with the PS5, that it's like if you don't get a pre-order, that's it. Like good luck getting one. You might not get one for a couple months.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that it's not a disaster.
I'm really looking forward to. I never get in on the ground floor on consoles ever. Usually because of financial reasons. Like when it came to the Switch, like I wanted one, but I couldn't justify spending the money, and like I have trouble spending money on myself a lot of times. But I remember like it was a couple years after the Switch had come out, and Jenny, for Christmas or my birthday, she got me Breath of the Wild, like as like a hey, it's okay for you to buy yourself a Switch, like it's okay, and so I did, and it was awesome. But like I was really excited to get in on the Switch 2, like the ground floor, man. I don't know, I was hyped, and now it might not happen, so I'm a little bummed. But if I have to wait, I have to wait. It is what it is. I'm 36. I can't really get that upset about it.
I have a huge backlog of games as it is. It's not like I don't have things to play. I have Switch games, Switch 1 games in my backlog to play. So
actually, I wanted to bring one up, yeah, because I put it in the fresh games, but like it's not that fresh. I got back into Tears of the Kingdom. I haven't beaten Tears of the Kingdom yet, and like I picked it back up because I didn't really have anything to play. And holy crap, I got sucked in, and I'm like, dude, this really is one of the greatest games ever made. It is fantastic. So, like, it scratches the itch from the Switch 2, playing that game, but like, it also makes me want one more because Nintendo makes good games, period. And like, the pricing and shit is fucked up. And I don't appreciate them charging this much for games, but they do make really good games. So it's like, what are you going to do?
the Switch 2 reveal actually prompted me this past weekend to throw on Mario Kart 8. And I was playing it with my 5-year-old because you can do a setting where they all they have to do is steer. Like you don't have to accelerate, it accelerates on its own. And we were playing that and she was having a great time. And there were even a few races where she didn't come in last. And like that was a big deal for a little 5-year-old who's truly just learning how to play. And the next day, I think we played on Saturday and Sunday morning. She was like, "Can we play again? Can we play more?" And so, like, I was having a great time playing that, and I was like, "Shoot, now I really want the Switch 2 because I want to play World. Like, I'm back in Mario Kart mode now."
Mario Kart is one of the greatest games ever. It's so fun. It's definitely one of the greatest multiplayer experiences you could have. Uh, it was the reason to sleep over. You know what I mean? Like that game slaps, and yeah, I really want to play it too. So I agree.
Yeah. So that's the Switch 2 pre-order delays. As of now, no new date set. Hopefully, we hear something soon. The economy is in a state, and so that makes it difficult.
Shambles.
But
It's in sh-
we'll see what happens there. Hopefully they don't change the price or whatnot, but who knows at this point. I wanted to also mention, obviously I'm the Oscar guy. I love the award season, and we're we're like barely a month past the Oscars. But I did want to mention they have officially announced an Oscar stunt category is coming. It will not be there until the ceremony, I believe, in 2028. So we've got a few years. So the 2027 movie year will have that award for the 2028 showcase. And I just thought that was really cool. People have been vying for an Oscar stunt category for a long time. That's a huge branch of the movie industry that does not get recognized at the Oscars. And this is a great way to highlight some movies, some big action movies, big blockbusters that maybe normally wouldn't get any recognition at the awards show. So I thought that was really cool. And I just wanted to recognize it.
Hell yeah, dude. I'm all about the stunts, man. Stunts make the movie a lot of the times. People in movies like Mad Max Fury Road and Mission Impossible, like those stunts are nuts and they deserve recognition absolutely.
Yeah. So I thought that was neat. Just wanted to recognize it. And then lastly, Jahan, last week, had we done an episode, we for sure would have been talking about a Minecraft movie, which I've seen. I have it on my fresh movies of the week list to talk about. But we did not get to talk about the Minecraft madness of the memes and things that are happening in theaters with kids that are getting out to see this movie. And I wanted to get your take on it because I can't remember if we've really ever talked much Minecraft on the show, or if we talked about it much leading up to the movie. So I wanted to get your Minecraft take.
Minecraft is a revolution. Probably the greatest thing that's ever been made for children ever. It encourages creative thinking and logic and engineering ideas. It creates foundations of STEM in children, and it's fantastic. I think it's a great thing. That's my take on Minecraft itself. I had a lot of fun playing Minecraft from pretty early
How many
on.
hours would you guess if you had to ballpark? How many hours
Hundreds,
you spent playing?
hundreds. I played hundreds of hours.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
like just building stuff with friends. Like I used to play online a lot with friends. We'd have worlds together. You'd do this and that. I never got like hella in. Like I'm not like a redstoner. Like you know what I mean. Like I'm not. I'm not good at anything in Minecraft. I'm not a speed runner, nothing like that. I just had a lot of fun. I actually beat the game, so I actually got killed the Nether Dragon, all that stuff. Got there. So I haven't played a lot of the newer content, but I'm impressed with what they keep coming up with and how they keep it fresh. And it's just a good game, man. I think Minecraft is really great.
I do notice in your summary there and talking about the game, there's two words that you didn't mention, and
It,
those words are chicken and jockey.
yep, yep.
Is this a thing that you were aware of prior to
No,
a Minecraft movie?
no, I'd never heard of that. I didn't play during the Chicken Jockey era, whenever that happened. But it looked like a baby zombie riding a chicken, right? That's what it was.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. So,
Yeah.
I will say, just to comment on this, because I went and saw a Minecraft movie in a movie theater, and I went opening weekend, and I went to a Saturday evening screening. I don't usually go to the movies on Saturday nights, like very rarely does that happen. I tend to go when there's less crowds, just out of preference. And but for whatever reason, the way it worked out, and I wanted to see this movie, that's when I could go. And it was like an 8 o'clock showing. It was sold out, like totally full theater.
Not surprised.
A lot of teens, or like young teen, like 13 to 15-year olds, I'd say. Some like 17, 18-year olds. A lot of teens, a lot of kids too. But I, had not heard, of any of the memes or anything. This was still early in the weekend, but when I was seeing this movie, there were multiple moments where things happened in the movie that went totally over my head, or didn't have any meaning, that people clapped or cheered. There was nothing like the crazy stuff you're seeing on TikTok, right? There was not like people throwing popcorn or
Yeah.
jumping up out of their seats. Nothing. This was tame, but there was applauding and cheering at moments that I was like, I have no idea. That must have been a thing. Basically, was my takeaway. And it was just really unique to be part of that, because I've gone to see many an MCU movie with my wife, who, something would happen and I'd be like, oh, it'd be some reference, and she'd be like, well, I don't get what happened. And I'd have to be like, oh, well, that was this character from the comics who just showed up, and this is why it's important. She'd be like, oh, okay, got it. Well, that was me in this
Yeah.
movie, and I didn't have a person next to me to say, this is why they're cheering, or this is why, I just had to be the old man that didn't get it. So it was definitely a unique experience. The chicken jockey got a big reaction. There was a point with a pig with a crown, and
Yeah, that's
one of the
a
kids.
reference to a dead streamer. Yeah.
Right, right. So I've learned that since. In the movie, there's a line like the kid's like, "Oh, is that pig a king?" And Jack Black's character Steve says, "That pig's no king. He's a legend," or something like that. And
Yeah.
like the crowd cheered. And I was like, "Okay, this is a thing." So I've tried to do a little research to learn, but at the end of the day, kids are going out to see the movie. This movie's made over $500 million at this point. It's on its way to making $1 billion.
Oh,
I think it will.
it's going to. I can guarantee it. I'll put money on it right now.
And it's funny because the box office projections early on, like its opening weekend, were like, it's going to make 50 to 60 million. And then it did really well in previews, and they're like, it's going to be, like 70, 80 million. And then they just kept increasing the projections all weekend when it started doing well, and it ended up obviously outgrossing the Super Mario Brothers movie's opening weekend gross, and is the biggest opening weekend for a video game movie ever. It's kind of crazy because like this movie was obviously on my radar,
Yeah.
and I knew it would be a big deal because the Minecraft game is the best selling amongst the best selling games of all time.
Yeah.
It's been released on every platform multiple times. There are plenty of people that have bought this game multiple times. That's what gets a game to have as much sales as
Guilty.
Minecraft does. Grand Theft Auto is the same boat. Like Grand Theft Auto 5 that was released on 360 and PS4, or no 360 and PS3,
Yeah.
and then got re-released on Xbox One and PS4, and then even again up-resed on Xbox Series X and PS5. I mean, like, that's why people buy those games multiple times. Well, that's what happens with Minecraft too. And so, in hindsight, it's like we should have known that the Minecraft movie was going to be the biggest opening weekend for a video game movie ever. Like, in hindsight, that's not a surprise. It's kind of crazy we didn't see it coming.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't see it coming because, like, I don't know, they had Jason Momoa in it, and, like, it started seeming like they were kind of making, like, a bastardization. But it seems in the end they were very true to the subject matter. It was very well done. And, man, just, like, when you watch the stories about this movie, and the good that Jason Momoa and Jack Black used this movie to do for like terminally ill children. You know what I mean? Like it's
Mm-hmm.
tear jerking, man. Like it, like what good guys, what a good company to allow like early screenings and all this other stuff, and like they deserve all their success in my opinion. This is a great movie based on a great IP that is being carried out with compassion, like in the real world. And like I think it's a cool thing, man. I think it's nice to see this kind of thing happen in life. It's just nice. I think that this is a really cool thing.
Well, and like this movie, it's not great by any means, but like it's very silly and dumb, but
Yeah.
that's what it's trying to be. Like it's the director of Napoleon Dynamite, so there's a lot of very dumb humor, but there were moments that made me laugh. And Jack Black is just doing the Jack Black thing, right? Like he's doing his shtick. And it's kind of crazy because there are movie stars that I feel like we get um a little bit tired of, and it's like you need to go take a break. Like I felt that way about Ryan Reynolds for a while,
Yeah.
and sometimes they do. Sometimes they go take a little breather. Jack Black has been very consistent, but also I don't really get tired of him. Like I'm fine with Jack Black. He does a lot of voice stuff recently, but like a Minecraft movie, last year he had Borderlands, which I didn't see, and he's the Claptrap.
No one
But he was
saw it.
also,
It was diarrhea.
yeah. Kung Fu Panda 4 though was a big movie, and he's done 4 Kung Fu Panda movies. The year before that was the year of Peaches, where he was Bowser in Super Mario. And then it's like he's got the Jumanji franchise, he's got the Goosebumps franchise. Um, Mentioned Kung Fu Panda. I mean, he's all over the place doing voices and live action, and he's just one of our most consistent movie stars that I don't really get annoyed with or tired of, which I think is interesting, whether he's doing things geared towards adults or geared towards children.
Yeah, well, I mean, one of his things, like when you're talking about Kung Fu Panda, like in Kung Fu Panda, he is not Jack Black. You know what I mean? Like he is Poe. You're not really getting the same thing that you always do. Like Ryan Reynolds is always Ryan Reynolds, but like Jack Black can switch it up a little. He has some acting chops, and at the same time, like I don't know, he does a lot of voice acting, but what was I saying? I kind of lost my point here. He's just I was oh yeah, he's not always in the forefront. He's not
Yeah,
always. He can step
he's
back.
willing to be part of an ensemble or be a side
Yes.
character, like in Jumanji. Like Jumanji is really more of a Dwayne Johnson, Kevin Hart team up, like.
Yeah.
But then you have Jack Black and Karen Gillian.
Karen Gillian. Yeah.
So
Gillian. Yeah.
yeah, and so like he's fine to be part of an ensemble. Upcoming he's going to be in the Anaconda reboot of the horror
Hell
film,
yeah.
uh,
But yeah,
which
see,
he's
like
in with Paul Rudd. Like that should be fun.
that should be fun. Even in Jumanji, though, like the character he's playing is a teenage girl trapped in Jack Black's. You know what I mean? Like it's
Mhm.
different than like you know what I mean. Like he does other things. I feel like that keeps him fresh.
I think I'm due a School of Rock rewatch. I know people love that movie. I don't think I've seen it since I saw it in the theater back in 2003 when it came out. I
They
think I'm
did.
due a
They
rewatch.
did a recent, I think, reunion, which was cool.
Hmm.
I know the main kid that writes the song got in trouble. He got arrested for stealing a guitar in real life, which is funny. And then I
Oh,
know,
interesting.
and then I know two of the kids got married in real life, so that's funny.
Well, and Mike White is in the movie and wrote the movie. It was directed by Richard Linklater, but I just find it interesting because Mike White now is just so associated with the White Lotus because that's like his project that he's created and writes and directs and everything. But it's like he's been around in Hollywood for so long and wrote and had a notable role in School of Rock. And I need to revisit this. I'm just due.
Absolutely.
Well, anyway, I moving on from Minecraft was a huge movie release, obviously based on a very notable IP. This upcoming weekend, we have a kind of a big budget original action movie, not based on IP, with Sinners coming out. This is the Ryan Coogler directed
Ooh.
Michael B. Jordan film where he's Michael B. Jordan's playing two roles in a vampire movie. And I think this looks really good. The reviews have actually started coming out early, and it sounds like this is pretty universally liked.
Dude, it's getting
And
great. It's getting nines and tens across the board for a vampire movie. That gets me very excited. And then like Haley Steinfeld is a hot vampire lady. That's awesome, and I'm in.
yeah, so it's like I don't know, man. I also really like Ryan Coogler. Like I'm a big fan of the Creed franchise, which he directed the first Creed, Fruitvale Station, but then he did Black Panther, and he got kind of stuck in MCU land and did the
Yeah.
Black Panther Wakanda Forever. And so like this is a Ryan Coogler directed film that's his first. This is the first film that Ryan Coogler has directed that's not a Black Panther movie since 2015. So it's been
Oh
10
shit.
years. Like I'm just
He's the guy that got arrested at the bank, huh? That's crazy.
who now?
Ryan Coogler, he got arrested at the bank trying to make a deposit.
Yes. I forgot about that
Yeah, he got
stuff.
racism. Yeah, real bad. Yeah, fuck yeah, Ryan Coogler.
Yeah, so great director. Just happy to see something. But despite this movie coming out and being a bit of a bigger budget action movie, it's not really kicking off the summer movie season yet because it's still April. It's a little early. Typically, the summer movie season really kicks off with that first weekend of May.
Yeah.
It's either last weekend of April or first weekend of May. Is typically reserved for a Marvel movie, and this year we're getting Thunderbolts on that weekend, so
Woo!
we're 2 weeks away from Thunderbolts.
Oh, that's exciting.
But I figured what I thought would be a fun thing, a little fun exercise, is we've done our most anticipated movies of the year, but I thought it'd be fun to go through weekend by weekend some of the big summer movies that are coming out. And this is more of you and I just to give. We're not doing a deep discussion of all these movies. That would take way too long. But if we got thoughts, we can give them. But essentially, I'm looking for a good old thumbs up or thumbs down for these movies as far as your anticipation, if you think it's going to be good, all of that combined in one. Does this movie get a thumbs up or a thumbs down? I thought about adding in a thumbs middle if you're like meh or on the fence, but I think that's too much of a cop out. I think we
Too much of a
stick to
cop
either
out, man. Yeah, let's stick to our
yeah,
guns.
you either give it a thumbs up or you give it a thumbs down.
Hell yeah.
And so we'll kick it off with Thunderbolts. Jahan, are you a thumbs up or a thumbs down on Thunderbolts?
Thumbs
I'm a
up,
thumbs up
buddy.
too.
Thumbs up.
Yeah, I'm a thumbs up too.
Florence Pugh jumps off the
Um,
second highest building in the world. That's fucking dope.
I'm not expecting this movie to be amazing
No.
by any means, but I think it's going to be one of the more fun MCU entries that we've had literally in years. Like, I think it's at least going to be a pretty solid, fun movie, is all I'm hoping for.
I saw people getting smushed into the ground and turning into like shadow dust. That shit was dope.
It's going to be some Sentry stuff. I'm
Hell
excited for that. Let's see. There's May is still a little bit so, but until you get to the end of it. May 16th, there's a new Final Destination movie coming out, Final Destination Bloodlines.
I've seen every Final
John.
Destination movie, so I'll give that a thumbs up.
I need to catch up. I've not seen all of them. So I'll give a thumbs up too though, just because like I like horror movies in the summer. This is coming out in May. Should be fun.
Final Destination made me scared of the shower, baby.
Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning on May 23rd. This gets a big old thumbs up from me.
Yeah, I fell off the Mission Impossible train, but then I saw Fallout and I was like, holy shit, these movies slap. So I'm back in.
If you get a chance in the next couple of weeks before May 23rd, check out Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning, the last one that came out, because it's good. And this is going to be kind of a direct continuation of that one.
Yeah, I don't think I saw that one, so I'm gonna have to check it out.
That same weekend, May 23rd, Lilo and Stitch, the live action adaptation,
Thumbs down,
John
baby.
gave the thumbs down. Why? What's your take?
I mean, like the anime. I'm not a big fan of these live action remakes. I think it's stupid. honestly, like on some level, it's kind of insulting to the form of animation. It's like, why you got to do it in live action? But like sometimes it's cool, sometimes it's not. I'm seeing a lot of stuff they're taking out and changing and whitewashing and like all this other stuff. Like there's a lot of stuff that's being said about this movie and it's not being done well. So it's one thing to do a live action remake, it's another to do it poorly. And I think that that's what's happening. Like they took the alien out that does drag, and it's like who are you making this movie for? Like you really gonna bow to this fucking bullshit that's going on out here? You know that was in the original movie. Like you're making a live action version. Why are you changing things like to I don't know. You know how I get about this stuff, but it's just like I don't know. It doesn't look good. It looks like it's being done badly, and I don't really dig that.
So Lilo and Stitch, the animated movie, came out in 2002. So I would have been 13 when it came out, and I was right at that peak point of being like, I'm too old for that now. That's baby stuff. So like I didn't see Lilo and Stitch when it came out. I've seen bits and pieces of it now because my daughter has watched it, but it's just I don't think I've sat and watched it all the way through. It's not one of mine that I'm nostalgic for. And ultimately, I'm with you. I'm gonna go thumbs down on this. I think these Disney live action remakes have hit a low recently with the response and just terrible dialogue that was going on around the Snow White movie.
Yeah.
And now we're getting another one. I will say this, Silver Lining. I think the trailer for this movie has some points in it that actually make me laugh and look kind of funny. I don't think this looks like an atrocity or anything like that at all from the
No.
trailer. It's just I don't have the interest. I do think this movie might end up doing well from a box office perspective
Yeah.
because I think it's hitting that same similar audience for what we just had with Minecraft, where like we're now seeing the generation below us have like these things that they came up with and are nostalgic for getting the big screen treatment and they show up for these things. So like there may be a little like the younger millennials or Gen Z that show up for Lilo and Stitch live action remake. I don't know, but I'm so out on these Disney live action adaptations.
I am too. Yeah, I mean, like you said, this doesn't look like an atrocity. It's just, it's not really for me, and it doesn't look like it's being done to the standards I would expect. But it's, I mean, it is. I'm sure, like, take your kid. Like, it's, I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure your kid will like it. You know, whatever.
Yeah. Also, full disclosure, there's plenty of other movies coming out this summer that I'm not going to list here. I'm really going for just the big ones for us. Just worth noting. On May 30th, Karate Kid Legends. This is the weird fusion that's got Jackie Chan in it, but also has Ralph Macchio, and it feels like they're somehow fusing the Jaden Smith reboot, but
With
with
the
the original
originals
franchise.
without Jaden Smith. Yeah, dude, it's weird. But I gotta give it a thumbs up because I love Jackie Chan, baby. And I actually like the Karate Kid. Cobra Kai on Netflix is fire. And it seems like they're keeping some of that stuff going forward. And it's just like, man, it looks like this could be cool. This could be one of those later in life reboot movies that's actually like has the heart of the original stuff. So I'm here for it.
I'm going to be the pessimist here. I'm going to go thumbs down on Karate Kid Legends, mainly because, like I said, the weird fusion of franchises here is confusing. What they're doing here, it definitely feels like they are kind of trying to capitalize on some of the popularity of Cobra Kai and whatnot. But I'm just, I don't know. This coming out at the end of May, I'm like, man, this really should have come out back in March when we were in like a dead landscape where there was nothing to show.
Yeah.
Like this would have played a lot better than I think it's going to get eaten alive.
They must have some confidence in it, man. They got my boy Jackie Chan in it, and they must be flying high.
I'll see it, but if it's good, I'll be happy to eat my words and say, hey, I really enjoyed it. So we'll
Hell
see.
yeah.
On June 6th, we have Ballerina. This is the John Wick franchise spinoff
With Ana
starring
de
Ana de
Armas,
Armas.
bruh. Yeah, dude. Thumbs up all the way. I was late on the John Wick train, and then I watched them all, and my mind was blown. And they're really good, even though they are pretty much mindless action dreck. They're still great. And God, Ana de Armas, I love Ana de Armas, dude. I would die for Ana de Armas.
I too love Ana de Armas. Keanu Reeves is appearing in this movie as John Wick. They have not even kept him out of the trailers. They want to make it very clear that this is a John Wick spinoff movie. I'm going thumbs down.
Hell
I'm a
yeah.
little bit apprehensive about this movie. I've heard a lot of stories about like production difficulties and things, but that doesn't mean it's going to be bad. But the expansion of the John Wick universe into what it's become with like the show they did on Peacock, the Continental show, and the John Wick franchise going from what the first movie was to what the fourth movie is. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love those movies.
Yeah.
All four of them are really really good to great. But now expanding this universe into other folks getting spin-off, I just don't know if I'm here for that. Like I'm cool with John Wick being John Wick, but I don't know. Again, if this is really a really awesome action movie, I'll eat my words.
Bro, the first John Wick starts off with like there are assassins, and then the fourth one, it's like, bro, this is assassin world, like hunter style anime, like everybody's an assassin, like it gets out of hand, dude. But I don't know, dude. Like while the Gray Man proves that Ana de Armas could be in a shitty movie, like I don't know, dude. I also saw, what's it called? Blade Runner, 2099 or whatever it was. Fucking dude, she's
2049.
God, she's good in that movie. I don't know, dude. I'm in.
Okay, good. I like that we've got some opposing views here. This one I'm just throwing out. I don't expect you to know as much. The Phoenician Scheme. This is the new Wes Anderson movie that's coming out, and I bring this up because I know we've talked about being fans of like Asteroid City and other ones. I'm a thumbs up too. I saw you give your thumbs
I'm a
up.
thumbs up. Wes Anderson. Like I'll always check it out for sure. I'm not always gonna like his movies, but 90% of the time I will. And I don't know. Not only do I like them, it's an experience that you only get from him, and I really appreciate that about his movies.
Here's just a snippet of the cast of this Wes Anderson movie: Scarlett Johansson, Tom Hanks, Bryan Cranston, Benicio del Toro, Benedict Cumberbatch, Rupert Friend, Richard Ayoade, Michael Cera, Jeffrey Wright, Riz Ahmed. So you've got a big,
Dude,
fun
I
Wes
love
Anderson
Richard
cast.
Iota or I. How you say it, man? That dude's hilarious.
I don't even know if I said it right. Ayoade, I
He's
think.
so damn funny. Yeah. He was
So,
born. He was
and will be a
born
good
for
pair
Wes
up, I
Anderson.
think. For yeah, exactly. So, has he done any other Wes Anderson before? Surely, just
Maybe
a lot of voice acting.
that's not surprising. He has such a good voice.
Yeah. Okay, so there's that. We'll move on to June 13th. How to Train Your Dragon. This is the DreamWorks live action adaptation of the animated film How to Train Your Dragon. I'll let you give your take here.
See, if we could, I would do the mid thumb thing for this because, like, I don't really know. Like, I wasn't the biggest How to Train Your Dragon guy, but it was a good movie, and the live action looks pretty solid. Um, I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna give thumbs up. This looks like if my kid was older, I would definitely take him to this.
Yeah. I'm gonna go thumbs down.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry. This DreamWorks jumping on this trend that Disney has established for almost 15 years. I think it was 2010 when the Alice in Wonderland live action remake came out. It feels like too little, too late to jump on it now. So I'm just kind of down on the concept as a whole. However, it does look kind of good.
It
Like
looks
the
kind of
trailer
good.
looks good. They obviously have faith in it because they've greenlit How to Train Your Dragon 2, the live action adaptation of the second movie, already before this one has come out. So I feel like they're banking on it doing well. And
Maybe DreamWorks,
yeah, I just
maybe DreamWorks gets it. You know what I mean? Maybe they know something Disney doesn't here, and maybe they're better at it.
I really, really, really like the animated series How to Train Your Dragon. All three of those movies I think are good. And so I would just love to see more in that universe from the animated perspective rather than a live action remake of the first movie. But um,
Absolutely
you know,
understand that.
I hope that at least it's good,
Yep.
that it's a good remake. Let's see. I, I don't even have to say this one, Jahan, to know what you're going to give it. But June 20th, 28 years later, the Danny Boyle follow up to,
2
28 days
thumbs
later.
and my penis all the way up.
Yeah, that's on brand, about what I
Yes,
expected.
sir.
I'm also going to go thumbs up. Excited for a new Danny Boyle movie. We haven't had one since 2019. And
28 Days Later revolutionized that genre, the infected zombie genre, and I can't wait to see the third movie, dude.
that same weekend, there's some counter programming with Alio. This is the new Pixar animated film. I don't know if you've seen the trailer for this, but a young boy who's abducted by aliens and they think he's the leader of Earth.
I haven't seen anything
And he,
about this.
oh, okay. Well, does a new Pixar animated film get you excited in any way?
Not really, man. I'm kind of old for that stuff.
I'm also going to go thumbs down. This has been delayed. This was, I think, supposed to come out last year, and they delayed it. I think because it's when Disney was needing some pretty sure box office bets, and they filled it with Inside Out 2 last year, which obviously
Which was
did
pretty.
really, really
It was
well.
pretty good, man.
Ilio just feels like nobody's excited for it. I don't see it doing well, even if it's good.
Yeah.
So I'm not
I'll
feeling
still I
confident
still
about
like
it.
Pixar. I still watch Pixar, but it's just like I don't know, man. You got to really sell me on it for me to get excited about it. Like I'm definitely not excited for whatever this is.
How about June 27th, Megan 2.0?
Nope. That's thumbs down.
I'm going thumbs up on this. If you watch the trailer, it's pretty funny.
Okay.
It's good. I enjoyed it.
I mean, I enjoyed Camp. I don't know, just not really a fan of the Megan series.
There's a new villain in this who's an android girl named Amelia. Go figure, which is the name of my youngest daughter
Hell yeah,
now.
dude.
So that's kind of funny. But there's some funny gags in the trailer with Megan that made me laugh. So I'm looking forward to it. Um, Any thoughts on F1? This is the Brad Pitt F1 racing movie that Apple has funded that comes out in theaters. Ooh, wow, Jahan, a big thumbs down.
Thumbs
Animated
down.
thumbs down.
I'm not really a big racing movie fan. The only one I like is Talladega Nights, and I'm sure that's not true. I'm sure you could probably point one out that's like that was a racing movie. I'm like, oh yeah, I guess that was pretty. But at the same time, like it's just not my thing. It's like cars go fast, exciting. It's like yeah, I guess.
Trailer for this movie looks really good to me. It's directed by Joseph Kosinski, who did Top Gun Maverick. So I'm going into this with a lot of goodwill. I think the trailer looks awesome. I'm hoping it's good. I'm going thumbs up.
Is it just
I'm
like
excited for
is
this.
this just about F1 racing, or is like he gonna is like Liam Neeson gonna be like, I have placed a bomb underneath your seat if you go slower than 200 miles an hour.
The one liner on IMDb says a Formula One driver comes out of retirement to mentor and team with a younger driver.
Oh boy,
Check out the
an
trailer.
old
Give it a
man
watch.
driver,
Yeah, I mean, Brad Pitt is how old is Brad Pitt?
like
He's
70.
born in '63, so yeah,
He's older than
what does
my
that mean?
parents.
62. He
Dude's
is
old.
old, but
He's old enough to be my
he still looks
dad.
good, and this trailer looks fun. Worth noting, on April Fool's Day, they announced that Brad Pitt will be starring in a Once Upon a Time in Hollywood sequel written by Tarantino but directed by David Fincher, and everybody thought that was an April Fool's joke, and it's real. So
Oh
that's going to
shit!
be, yeah, that's going to be really exciting.
Hell yeah, dude!
Coming to Netflix, of course, directly to Netflix.
I'll watch it, dude.
July 2nd, will you be watching Jurassic World Rebirth?
Unfortunately, well, like, are you asking me if I think it's going to be good or if I'm going to watch it?
I'm just asking if you're giving it your general thumbs up or thumbs down.
All right, so I'm definitely going to watch it. Definitely a thumbs down. The last one was crap. The last one was absolute crap.
Bad.
It wasn't even about dinosaurs. Like,
Go back.
get out of my
find that
face.
episode. We did a full episode reviewing that movie.
I was so
Me and
mad.
John and Gary all saw it on opening weekend, and we all, I think, hated it a whole lot.
It was so bad.
I'll give it a thumbs up. I think just the fact of it being a reboot with ScarJo and Mahershala Ali and Jonathan Bailey. I'm hoping they're going to do something interesting, and dinosaurs on my screen always make me happy. I actually just rewatched Jurassic Park this week, which is a 5-star masterpiece.
I almost watched it last week. That's funny.
Yeah. So we get a new one. Okay. You gave it a thumbs down. Wow.
I gave it a thumbs up. I'm huge. Like, dinosaurs on the screen, also same, made me happy, and I will see this. But holy crap, was the last one bad?
July 11th, Superman.
Oh yeah, thumbs up. Yeah, the Gunverse reboot, dude. I'm in. Like, I'm all the way in until I'm out. You know what I mean? Like, he's fostered some goodwill with me. Peacemaker season 2 is coming. Every episode apparently written by James Gunn. So like, he's got some goodwill with me. Don't fuck it up.
There's a lot of conversations happening within the film, film Twitter and film social media just about how much is writing on this movie. It really feels like there's a lot of the future of superhero movies and where they go and what the pulse is on those could depend on the success of this movie and how it's received. Although there's another movie that we'll talk about here shortly that's relevant to also. But I'm going thumbs up. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited about Superman.
Fuck yeah,
Everything
dude.
I've seen about it looks fun.
It looks great.
Do you have any nostalgia for the I Know What You Did Last Summer horror franchise?
Nah, not really.
Yeah, there's a Lega sequel coming out July 18th with Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prinze Jr. returning to the franchise.
Oh, that's fun.
Didn't know if you had any need for that. So
I saw the first one. I remember when it came out. It was solid, but I'm more of a Scream girly. You know what I mean?
Same.
Yeah.
Same. That's more my horror franchise too. So then we'll go down. Thumbs down on that.
Thumbs down.
Sorry, I Know What You Did Last Summer. I'm skipping Smurfs. Who cares about Smurfs?
Thumbs down.
July 25th, The Fantastic Four: First Steps.
Thumbs up.
I'm a thumbs up. This is another movie that, similar to the Superman conversation, you could say a lot of the MCU's future success kind of hinges on this movie. It feels like this movie, it seems like they're kind of setting up to be a bit of a reset for the MCU. We all know the quality has been all over the place the past couple of years, and it feels like they're saying, yeah, but just wait till Fantastic Four. That's what it feels like where we're at right now. And everything I've seen about it has gotten me excited. So yeah, I'm a thumbs up on it.
Looks solid.
Any other thoughts on it?
I mean, yeah, everything you said, like, a lot's writing on it. I'm starting to get to the same point where I'm like, yeah, maybe this could change things. I'm here. I'm watching. I'm gonna see. I love Pedro Pascal. I'm in.
Then we get into August 1st. So we're kind of getting out of that summer season, but this is when the Naked Gun reboot movie comes out starring Liam Neeson. Did you see the trailer for that? That kind of went viral.
Yes.
It's kind of funny.
where he's like a
It's
little
pretty good.
girl.
Yes.
Man, I don't know, dude. I feel like that bit missed the mark on Naked Gun a little bit. Like, don't be giving me cheesy CGI. That's not what I want. Like, he should have gone in, like, a little girl should have walked up and then taken off her face, and it was just a full size Liam Neeson dressed like a girl. That's what should have happened. But instead, they did. I don't know, man. I didn't like it. It upset me. It might still be funny. Naked Gun's a solid franchise, and if they think they have something, if it's anything like the originals, it could be good. But I don't think it's gonna be. Thumbs down. Soulless cash grab.
Here's why I have some faith in this. I'm going to go thumbs up. I thought the trailer looked really funny. It is directed by Akiva Schaffer of the Lonely Island fame, and who most recently directed.
Can I change my answer?
Directed the Chippendale Rescue Rangers movie. I forgot that he directed that. It went to Disney Plus.
So good.
But also directed Pop Star Never Stop Never Stoppin', which is absolutely hilarious.
Yep.
And now
Andy
he's doing a
Samberg
Naked Gun
signs a
reboot.
penis.
Yep. So I'm excited for the Naked. I shouldn't say I'm excited for it, but I do think it's going to be funnier than we realize.
Honestly, like I could use a good comedy, so like I'm interested, but I don't think it's gonna be good.
Yeah, fair enough. That's it. That ends our little summer movie game
That's
of
fun.
thumbs up, thumbs down. Kind of a fun preview of some of the movies that'll be coming in coming weeks. That I'm sure we will talk about a lot of these. Are you going to get out to the theaters and see Thunderbolts?
I want to, yeah. I definitely hope to.
Yeah.
It's definitely harder to do that kind of stuff with the newborn, but Jen's pretty good about like specifically with like Marvel movies. She'll make sure that we get out, and Tarantino films. She's a big fan, so she wants to go see those. So like, I'm pretty sure I can get her out there for that.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll talk about it here soon. So, all right. We will jump into fresh movies. We already talked about a Minecraft movie. I have a bunch of stuff that I've been watching in the past couple weeks, so I'm not going to spend too much time on all these. I'm going to go through a lot of them pretty quickly. You let me know when I get to it. I know you said you watched one of these
I
as
did.
well.
I saw it on your list, so I watched it when I got home today, just so we could talk about it.
Oh, nice. Well, I did just see Drop, which is a kind of horror thriller in theaters now, directed by Christopher Landon, who did the Happy Death Day movies and Freaky. And this is a thriller about a woman on a first date, and while she's at the dinner, she keeps getting airdrops on her phone from like somebody nearby that become more and more threatening, and she realizes she has to respond and basically take part in like an ongoing scheme, essentially, is the way I'll put it.
Yeah.
And it's like kind of a fun concept for a movie. It makes sense why they made this into a horror movie. And ultimately, I thought it was really fun. I had a great time with it. I thought this is like a solid 3.5 star thriller. And the thing that I enjoyed the most about it is that, you know how in a lot of horror movies you're like, well, here's what she should have done,
Yeah.
or what I would have done had I been there, or why didn't you just leave, or this and that, like the things you always ask during these movies. This movie does a really good job of tying up a lot of those loose ends so that you're like, I'm watching it, I'm like, I don't know what I would do if I was her. Like, I would just have to do what she's doing or play along, because like I don't know what I would do.
It's hard to do.
And
it's hard to
I
do
enjoyed that about it.
writing a horror. That's pretty good.
Because of that, it gets a little plotty at times with like what it's trying to set up. But ultimately the premise and what they're doing is fun. So that's Drop. It's in theaters now. A much less fun movie that is out in theaters now is Warfare. This is directed by Alex Garland, who we know from Ex Machina, Annihilation, most recently Civil War that came out last year. But he co-directed this with Ray Mendoza. So Ray Mendoza is an actual U.S. Navy SEAL who served during the Iraq War, who has been working in Hollywood as like a military supervisor on movies, and that's how he and Alex Garland met. Is that Mendoza worked as the military supervisor on Civil War, and I guess he and Alex Garland became friendly with each other. And this movie is based off of Ray Mendoza's real experiences as well as his whole platoon. And the movie makes sure to tell you at the start, like, this is based off of the real accounts and memories of the people, of the troop involved in it. And it's really interesting watch because it takes place during the Iraq War, but it doesn't really tell you like why this platoon's doing what they're doing, why they're stationed where they are, what their end game really is. Like, you're just with the soldiers, and it kind of takes place in real time during this mission. And when things get bad, it gets bad, and it's not a fun watch. Like, this is like supposed to be a really real and accurate adaptation of warfare, as is in the title, and meaning it's a pretty grueling and difficult watch at times. It's amazingly executed. It's amazingly shot. It's well done. I think this movie can inspire a lot of interesting conversations about war and things like that. And I think that's what the movie's trying to do, but it's this little snapshot.
Yeah.
And as much as I recognize how good this movie is from a craft perspective, I don't know that I necessarily enjoyed watching it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It all sounds like you weren't supposed to. So yeah,
exactly. You're not supposed to have a fun time watching it. This is not your Call of Duty-esque war movie. It's not that at all. And but it is a really cool who's who of like up and coming young men in Hollywood. Just a few people that are in this include Defuro Wunatai, who's actually been in the show Reservoir Dogs, and he plays Ray Mendoza in the movie. But then you've got Will Poulter is in this, Cosmo Jarvis, who played Blackthorn on Shogun, for those that watched that, and now he's in this. You've got Kit Connor, Finn Bennett, Joseph Quinn, who obviously is playing the Human Torch soon, Charles Melton, who received a lot of praise from the movie May December, Noah Centineo, Michael Gandolfini is in this. Michael Gandolfini, the son of James Gandolfini, who played Tony Soprano. Michael Gandolfini's kind of in everything right now. He's also in the Daredevil show. He's in a bunch of stuff. So anyways, just like really good cast of young men that we'll probably be seeing in a lot of movies in the coming years. So interesting thing there, but still just not the most fun movie to watch on a weekend when you have 90 minutes to get away and go see a movie. I also watched A Working Man. This is the newest Jason Statham action movie directed by David Ayer, and my description of this movie would be like a McDonald's meal. It's not necessarily good or good for you, but I knew going into it what it was probably going to be, and it gave me exactly what I ordered. So, but again, like, not that it's of the highest quality necessarily, but it's, if you want another Jason Statham action movie that has like some fun moments and interesting stuff, then like go see A Working Man. If you want to see David Harbour play a blind man who supplies Jason Statham with a lot of weapons, then go see this movie.
That's pretty cool.
That is A Working Man. It is the definition of fine.
Oh boy.
Then I watched Y2K.
Oh boy.
Is this the one that you watched?
Sticky Boys for Life?
This is directed by Kyle Mooney. It is now streaming on Max. This is I don't know if you can even really call it a horror movie because it's not
Barely.
scary at all.
It is a camp horror comedy. Yeah.
Slasher film that takes place, slasher-esque, I guess, takes place on New Year's Eve, 1999 into 2000. And basically, the premise is, what if all the fears and things about Y2K that people imagined at that time were real? And so the night kind of turns into like the technological apocalypse as people have to fight back against their electronics.
Yeah, it starts
And
off as like the boys coming of age, kind of like going to their first high school party. Like he's gonna get with the girl he's always loved, blah blah blah, and then it turns into this campy, super campy horror movie about Y2K. And man, the nostalgia's real. Uh,
yeah,
they really pluck that chord pretty well. And man, it's pretty damn funny.
I was gonna say, like, I don't know if this movie is good,
It's not.
but I had a fun time watching it.
Yeah.
It worked for me because I mean, we were this is the time we were growing up in too, and some of the nostalgia worked. Worth noting that Fred Durst plays a notable role in this movie
Bro.
as himself.
Oh man, when Friend Durst popped out and that kid was like, "Man, you look like shit," I was laughing my ass off because it's like, yeah, he's playing himself 25 years ago. Of course, he looks like that's funny, and I can't believe he was in this movie, and it's so good. It's such a good cameo.
And it is funny that Rachel Zegler was in this movie, who
Yeah.
obviously just played Snow White and got all that. But like, I like her in this type of stuff. Like, I just think she's very likable as a
Yeah.
Hollywood figure, or like in movies, I should say.
Yeah, she played her role well. Also, our boy Fire Fist from Deadpool 2 was one of the
Yep.
main characters. He killed it, and it was hilarious. And then that long-haired Native American guy that's in everything. He was in Stranger Things season 4.
Yeah, oh, yeah, yes.
He's
What's his
hilarious.
name? Eduardo Franco.
Yeah, dude, I love that guy. And oh man, dude. The way he went out was so fucking funny. You
What's
remember?
his character's name in Stranger Things? Oh, his name's Argyle.
Yeah,
That's right,
Argyle. Yeah. He's the pizza guy. Yeah, dude. So funny. And the way he went out in this movie was fantastic. I was laughing really hard. And I don't know, man. I like this movie. This is one of those movies that I'm always afraid they'll stop making. You know what I mean? Like this, like crappy. Like this was what I grew up on. I grew up watching this sort of shitty camp bullshit from the 90s, man. And like they really captured it. There were some practical effects in this with like the robot monsters that was fantastic. It was just solid, dude.
Yeah, I had a fun time with it. So that is streaming on Max right now. You can check it out. I've got a couple of documentaries next also. So on Disney Plus,
Boo! No, I'm just
they
kidding.
just they just put a documentary called Not Just a Goof up. This is a movie that explores the making of a Goofy movie, which is celebrating its 30th anniversary. And it's a movie that I have
Oh,
a lot of
God.
nostalgia for myself. I love a Goofy movie. I love it even more now as a parent, because I have transitioned from, you know, finding myself or viewing myself through Max to now viewing myself through Goofy 1,000,000% watching this. So like, I love this movie. I was 6 years old when it came out, so like I was the target audience when it came out, and this documentary goes behind how it was made, basically the hurdles that it had, the challenges that they had just even getting it made. Then it was released to not much success financially or critically, but now has been reclaimed by a lot of people like me who are like, no, this movie is good actually, and I love it, and here's why. And so they kind of go into all aspects of it with that. This documentary is way too long. It's almost an hour and a half long, and they could have done
boy.
this in like an hour. But if you really like a Goofy movie and you wanted the story of how it was made, I'd say check this out.
I did not know that it didn't reach success because that movie's great. It's like one of the better Disney movies.
I love it. Gwen, my 5-year-old, has been watching this a lot lately, and I don't get tired of it.
Fucking Powerline, dude. That shit goes hard.
Yep. All the music in it is good. I don't know. Goofy movie is good.
It is good.
And so it's neat that they acknowledged that by giving it a full 90-minute documentary exploring the making of. Like, this documentary is longer than the movie itself. So, because a Goofy movie is like pretty short. It is 78 minutes long.
Oh boy.
But so that's that. This next documentary is the one that I think is really fun, John. I don't know. Do you currently subscribe to Paramount Plus?
No.
Okay.
Well, no, I
All
don't
right.
think so.
Well, there's a new documentary on Paramount Plus called Casa Bonita Mi Amor. And this movie explores how Trey Parker and Matt Stone,
Hell
the
yeah.
South Park creators, you know, Trey Parker in particular loved the restaurant that's in the Denver area called Casa Bonita. It is a real restaurant that was established in the 70s, um, that then featured prominently in a memorable episode of South
Oh
Park.
my god. So good.
And so this real restaurant, though, Casa Bonita, closed in 2020 during the COVID pandemic after having been open since the 70s. And Trey Parker and Matt Stone ended up buying the restaurant to try and rescue it. And this documentary follows that process. So, goes to the establishment of Casa Bonita, when it closed, them buying it, and then it kind of transitions to like this crazy episode of Kitchen Nightmare or like an HGTV remodeling
Bar
type show
rescue.
of
Yeah.
like, yeah, exactly, like a bar rescue. And I had a great time with this. It's very fun because Trey Parker, it's anytime watching Trey Parker and Matt Stone and their creative process and how their brains work is fascinating. Because regardless of your feelings of South Park, I think they're kind of geniuses. And there's a reason why South Park works in the way that they do social commentary and things, and why that show is still relevant after 30 years.
Yep.
And so seeing them rescue like a childhood favorite thing that they care a lot about and trying to make sure that they are renovating it, but also making sure it's still authentic to the experience that they had as kids. I just had a really, really great time watching this. Super watchable. It's called Casa Bonita Mi Amor. It is on Paramount Plus streaming now. So I highly recommend it. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'd heard a lot about what they were doing there, and like they were paying people during the layoff or during the quarantine, and they were like giving people living wages and benefits and stuff. And it's like, man, what, like they're solid dudes.
Not to spoil too much of the movie, but of the documentary, although it's real life that you can look up this stuff. But they bought it, and their budget for what they thought it was going to be to renovate and reopen was like around $6 million. And the building had so much wrong with it that had just been like pieced together over the years to fix, that the budget ended up ballooning to like well over $30 million for them to get it,
Oh,
reopened and stuff. So it's, and when you watch
oh,
it, you understand why, because this real restaurant was like the Disneyland of restaurants. It's all inside, but there are characters, there are divers that dive into a pool like from a high dive. There's kids attractions, there's animatronics, there's puppet shows, there's like all this weird stuff in this restaurant, which you can see in the episode of South Park that they featured this restaurant in. But it was like it was all real, and so they're trying to save that while also making sure that the building is up to code, and people aren't going to die to eat at this restaurant. So anyways, it's very fun. I recommend it. It's on Paramount Plus.
hell yeah, dude.
Lastly, I know I've been talking about a ton of movies here, but this has just all been backed up. I think I've mentioned this before that I've been watching some of the Star Trek movies, but I finished this journey. I watched all six of the Star Trek movies with the original cast, and then I watched all four of the Star Trek movies with the Next Generation cast. So it's 10 movies total. I will say this. I do not watch any of the Star Trek TV shows. I have not seen a single episode of the original series or the Next Generation. I just watched the films. And the original crew films, you can follow pretty easily, not having seen the show. You get a good grasp of who the characters are. Some of them are pretty campy. These came out in like the late 70s and throughout the 80s up until the early 90s. Some are definitely better than others, but like they're pretty consistent. The next generation movies are the ones I found to be a little bit less accessible. They felt more like extended episodes of the TV show. They are not very kind to new viewers that don't know the lore things from Star Trek: The Next Generation. But I still had a good time watching them. And then I watched Galaxy Quest after this because
Bro.
Galaxy Quest is kind of like a loving tribute to Star Trek as well. And I have a lot of nostalgic for that movie, not a lot of nostalgia for that movie because I saw it when it came out in 1999, when I was 10 years old. And Galaxy Quest still rules. Like it is awesome now, and like
Dude, I've seen
even the
that
effects and
movie. I've
things,
seen that movie like 30 times, and it holds up, and it's one of my favorite movies, too. Galaxy Quest is amazing.
even like the convention culture that's captured in the movie because they have like Galaxy Quest convention. It's like pretty accurate to real cons
Yeah.
now, and I don't know. I really enjoyed. I actually probably enjoyed rewatching Galaxy Quest more than I enjoyed any of these Star Trek movies. Realistically,
Commander Taggart,
um,
we need your help.
it's
Fucking,
actually really, really, really accurate.
I love it.
Um, Also, when you watch it as a kid, it's like you're all about Tim Allen or even Alan Rickman's character. Watching it as an adult, Tony Shalhoub is like
Tony
extremely
Shalhoub.
funny in this
Tony
movie.
Shalhoub
He
is so funny in this.
he is really good.
And what's his name? Rockwell?
Sam
Sam
Rockwell is in it.
Rockwell,
He's
yeah.
great too. Yeah,
You, you,
I
you
just
have a last name guy. Do I? Do I? It's so funny.
not just crewman number 6 who dies at the beginning. No, I love it. It was great. But that being said, I mean, like, of course, Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan is great. I really liked 4, which I believe is Undiscovered Country. It's hard to remember the names of them. But like some of the plots of the like Star Trek 4, the whole plot is them time traveling back to the 1980s in order to save the whales. Like that's a real plot of a Star Trek movie, and that's one of the better ones too. Like that's a really good one.
That's funny.
Yeah, I'm now a Trekkie, I guess. Now that I've seen all these, but I will say, I am a Kirk guy over Picard.
That's because you
So
haven't watched the show, man.
I mean that's fair,
Next
but I
Generation's
saw 4
fire,
movies.
dude.
We can jump to Fresh TV because that took a little longer than I had planned. But I did want to comment. We both watched The Last of Us season 2
We
premiere.
did. We did.
What'd you think, John?
It was dope. It's good to be back. I wasn't expecting the flash forward, but I guess we were told to kind of expect that. I don't know. The Last of Us, it really does separate itself from other like zombie shows and just other TV in general because it's so much. I don't know, man. It's so much more like gritty. It's like it has this realness to it, and like the consequences are these feel like even The Walking Dead. People are like, oh, you never know who's gonna die. This show like messed up stuff happens, man. It's dark. It's a scary world they live in. Like it's 10 times more dangerous than any other show, and I really feel like they captured that well, and I liked it.
Yeah, I also enjoyed it. I'm a big fan of The Last of Us Part 2, the video game, and I felt like this episode stuck to that game pretty closely from how it opens and stuff too. So I didn't find much that surprised me about this first episode, but I still found it to be really enjoyable. Um, in particular, I think the thing that surprised me the most was Ellie. Um, having played the game, obviously the, the games change perspective. Like Joel is the protagonist of the first game. You play as Joel. In the second game, you play as Ellie, and the game really shifts to her perspective, and Ellie becomes the main character of the Last of Us franchise. And Ellie will probably be the main character of the Last of Us franchise moving forward for a while. I would assume, assuming they do a part 3 game some point down the line. That being
I'd be
said,
surprised if they didn't.
yeah, I Pedro Pascal as Joel is great. I enjoyed Bella Ramsey as Ellie in the first season, and I was wondering how it was going to be with the show more firmly on her shoulders moving into season 2. And I actually thought she was really good in the first episode. Like I thought her performance was really strong, and I think she does have the chops. So, and I'm glad that the show did do a little bit of a time jump forward as
Yeah.
we discussed, because that's, staying true to the source. So, yeah, I'm excited to see more.
Yeah, it looks like season 2 is going to be as good as season 1, so I'm excited.
Yeah. I did finish out the White Lotus season 3. I overall really thoroughly enjoyed it in all of Mike White's craziness and what that show is. There are some people that are complaining that it was like a lackluster finale, or that the season overall wasn't as good. I disagree that overall wasn't as good. I thought it was a great season. I enjoyed every minute. I do think that the finale wasn't the greatest, but I still overall would rate the season very positively, and I had a great time with it. So I love the White Lotus, and look forward to seeing future seasons. They're due. A lot of fans are saying this, but they're due a winter resort of some sort, or a snowy resort,
Oh, that'd be
like
cool.
a ski lodge or something, like a tonal shift in that way. I think would be really fun.
That'd be cool. I like snow stuff more than beach stuff in media for whatever reason.
We're getting it in Last of Us 2 also.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true. Funny. The last show that we had to talk about, I watched a show that's on Amazon starring Kevin Bacon that really came out of nowhere for me. I didn't see it coming up, but hey, it was there. It's called The Bondsman. Kevin Bacon is a bounty hunter that gets bamboozled and killed in like the very beginning of the show. But for some reason, he doesn't stay dead, but instead is kind of ghostwritered to work for the devil, capturing demons that escape from hell, returning them to hell. So it's pretty much almost like verbatim he's Ghost Rider, pretty much, which is kind of silly. The show, it's got a lot of good action. It's very, very gory. In a lot of ways, the show reminds me of the Evil Dead show, specifically the show. It's got a lot of camp. It's got a lot of gore. It doesn't take itself too seriously, but it does have some darker stuff and themes in it. It's pretty solid show. It's kind of formulaic. They're not doing anything new. This is not like, oh my god, I can't believe they thought of it. This is kind of honestly like a little bit of a redundant, we've been here before. Supernatural meets Evil Dead meets I'm a bounty hunter. Conceptually, it's fine. In practice, it's not bad. I would say check out the first episode on Amazon if you're interested, and go from there. I'm not certifying it fresh. It's not the greatest thing I've ever seen, but it was entertaining enough for me to watch like 6 episodes in a row. So, it definitely...
The full season is out?
Full season's out, I believe. And yeah, it was pretty good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Lastly, just moving on to fresh games. I noticed you had Tears of the Kingdom on here, but we already kind of talked about it with our Switch 2 discussion. Was that your main talking point for games?
That was the only game. Yeah, I've just been back in Tears of the Kingdom, loving it, and I've been trying to pre-order the amiibos that they announced recently for Tears of the Kingdom to no avail. They are not available for pre-order yet, so bummer, but hey.
Okay. Well, I played South of Midnight, the new Xbox Game Studios release from Compulsion Games that has kind of this cool, like, Cajun Louisiana swamp locale and really neat stop motion animation esque aesthetic. And one of the silver linings of being sick last week is that I had downtime in the evenings where I wasn't feeling well to just sit and play games. And I have already played and beat South of Midnight. It released last week on Tuesday. So I beat it in about a week's time, a little less than a week's time. I actually paid for early access to play it because I
Oh,
wanted
okay.
something to play on Monday. And I went to look, and the early access to play it early was only $9 if you had an Xbox Game Pass subscription, because it's a $40 game if you don't have Game Pass. It's $50 for the Ultimate Edition, and they discounted it 10% with Game Pass. And I was like, I will pay $9 to play this game a little over 24 hours in advance when I actually have time to sit and play it.
Yeah.
So I got a lot of playtime early. Um, Man, it was the perfect little experience that I wanted. I beat it in probably like 12 hours. I essentially 100%ed the game, and I had a really great time doing it. It's combat is really good. Its story is great, and every chapter kind of tells its own unique story that I really enjoyed. The combat gets a little bit repetitive, but the game is not just revolving around combat. There's a lot of story and exploration stuff too that made it worth sticking through it. And the game's short enough too that it doesn't really matter. So South of Midnight, I thought great story, great look,
Yeah.
great gameplay, decent combat that gets a little bit repetitive, but it doesn't overstay its welcome. So really enjoyed this as a cool Game Pass Xbox exclusive release.
Yeah, it looks really good. I really want to get into it. I've been seeing a lot of black content creators responding to this game, and
Mm-hmm.
man, like it really makes you feel like, I talk about representation being important often, but like, man, seeing some of them tear up when they're seeing this game, seeing some, like, I saw one of them cry because there was like a southern like slave hymn being sung, and it's like, man, like that, like it means so much, and it's like, man, like we need more of this. It's good, like people, it does so much for so many people, and I'm glad it was a good game. It looks like it had the heart and soul. So
Yeah, I thought it was really great, and it's worth playing through for the aesthetic and the designs, and the level design is fantastic, and especially the last few chapters went somewhere I wasn't expecting it to. Oh, and something that's really cool about it, because I did get the digital deluxe edition since I paid the $9 for it, which came with like a 5 GB downloadable thing with like some documentaries and soundtrack and
oh,
stuff
cool.
like that. And I went through and actually was watching some of the documentary and making of the game. And one thing that I thought was really fascinating, because I didn't know he was doing a lot of work in video games, but Ahmed Best, who is most known for playing Jar Jar Binks in the
Ah,
Star Wars franchise, he plays a character in this game named Rue, who's a character that shows up in the latter part of the game. Um, but Best also worked as the, like, I don't have his exact title in front of me, but essentially was like the performance coach and like vocal coach, or like performance lead of the game. So they showed the mocap stuff happening, and like he essentially was directing the actress that plays Hazel, the main character in it, and was like doing really cool stuff in motion capture work, whatever, which makes sense, right? Like
does make
he
sense.
played one
Yeah.
of the first motion capture characters on film, like fully motion capture characters. So he's been working in this field for a long
Pretty
time,
much
and
as
I thought
long
it
as
was
you
really
can.
cool to
Yeah.
see him. I thought it was really cool to see him having success in this way and working on this game. So just kind of a cool thing, a benefit that I got from watching that stuff and having access to the deluxe version of the game, which I don't always utilize those extra
No.
pack-ins.
Nah, man, that's cool because, like, I don't know, dude. I kind of miss. I think I was talking maybe with Kyle or somebody about like missing special edition DVDs and like the extra content, like behind the scenes stuff you always used to get. And yeah, no, this stuff's really cool.
Yeah. So I recommend South of Midnight, and then I'm actually kind of just biding my time because I want to play Clair Obscur Expedition 33, which is the
Yeah,
RPG that releases next week.
that's next week.
On
Damn.
Yeah, man. So that comes out on Tuesday on Xbox Game Pass. It's on PlayStation and Xbox, but it comes straight to Xbox Game Pass on day one. So that's where I'll be playing it, and I needed something to play in between. And there's a new sequel to Death Stranding coming out on PlayStation this summer, and I've only barely dabbled in the original game. So I've been playing Death Stranding this week, and man, Kojima is just a weird ass dude.
He's
and
the
has some
weirdest.
crazy ideas.
He's the weirdest guy ever.
But Death Stranding is a insane world that has been created in this game, and the technology and the lore and everything around it. As you're playing as this delivery man, essentially trying to like reconnect points across the country, which I always thought it just didn't look fun. And at times you're questioning that too as you're playing it, but the story and the design and the way it's all so good that I'm actually really enjoying it. So I'm glad that I'm playing it because I'll probably try and play Death Stranding 2 this summer also.
I don't know that I have the patience for that game, but it does look like quite the experience. So I'm glad you're checking it out.
It for sure is a game that seems like it's designed for you to spend 100 hours plus playing it. And I don't know if I'll do that, especially with another game coming out next week that I want to play. But we'll see how it goes.
Was this the same company or that made that zombie game? You know what I'm talking about?
I don't.
The
So
PlayStation zombie game?
when they were making Death Stranding, Kojima started his own studio, Kojima Productions. And so I think that's the only game that they've made is Death Stranding.
Okay, I didn't know if there was a connection between like studios of this and Days Gone, because I feel like in Days Gone you can have the motorcycle with the baby fetus in it, and I was like, I always had that one because it was funny, but I didn't know.
Oh, that's funny. It must just be a tie-in.
Yeah, I don't know what their connection, if it's the same production company or I don't know, something. But hey, Death Stranding, cool. I mean, I played some other games, man, but like nothing enough that I can talk about. Like I played Adamfall, which is the Xbox game, and like so far I like it, and the combat's pretty interesting, but it keeps crashing on me, and I keep having these like game-killing glitches, so I'm frustrated with it. But I don't want to shit all
It's
over.
technically in-game preview, right?
It might be. I don't want to shit all over a game because like maybe my Xbox just sucks or something. But that's the issue I'm having with it. But I do, man. Expedition 33 looks fantastic. So
Yeah, I'm excited for it. And starring Charlie Cox, as we're in mid. Did you end up keeping up with this season of Daredevil?
I haven't caught back up, but I want to. So yeah.
I went to also. I've heard that it ended pretty strongly.
Okay.
But I'm behind several episodes.
Yeah, man. Being a new dad's hard.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
What was your this week? What was your fresh pick, buddy? Fresh picks of the week, baby with cakes.
This is a hard week for fresh picks for me. And to me, the obvious answer feels like The Last of Us season 2, but I think I'm going to go with Casa Bonita Mia More, the documentary about Trey Parker and Matt Stone rescuing this restaurant, just because it caught me out of nowhere and I really enjoyed it. And like, it made me happy after watching it. And, you know, that's what fresh picks are for, right? It's like to shed light on something that makes you happy that you recommend to other people. And so I'm going to say Casa Bonita Mia More.
Man, by Graptar's hammer, I might have to pick Galaxy Quest, but I didn't actually watch it this week, so I guess I'm going to have to go with The Last of Us Season 2. I'll actually pick that one. I liked it a lot. It was, I don't know. You watch a lot of stuff throughout just life. You put on a show here and there, but there are these shows that just stand above and beyond quality wise that are just like they're an experience, man. They're like you're watching something incredible, and The Last of Us is that. So I'm gonna have to go throw it there.
Yeah, I just spent the last 8 weeks of my Sunday nights essentially watching The White Lotus, and it's such a tonal shift now to go to like probably the next 8 weeks or however long the season of Last of Us is will be me watching that on Sunday night. And so like I gotta give HBO credit. They've got me for a while longer. On my Sunday nights are HBO nights.
HBO be doing programming well. They always have, and so hell yeah, HBO. All right. Well, I guess that's it for this week. Thanks everyone for listening to Fresh Out the Podcast, the greatest podcast in the universe. I'm the board game guru and game master extraordinaire, Jahananan.
And I am the professional media and movie mastermind, the Funhouse, Drew Munhausen. And thank you again so much for listening to episode 148 of Fresh Out the Podcast.
Stay fresh.